don't think we can, in good conscience, give the interim championship to Devon, um, as long as Levan is going to pull right away. I mean,
So the question of Levan Sagnashvili and when is he going to compete? Most of the fans want him to compete more consistently. I think the large majority wants to see him more consistent, not just to wait around for another match with Devon, maybe months and months and months and months in the future. Who knows when that would even be? But let's take a look at what Dexter and Robert said about, are they going to strip him of the belt after it's been a year of him not competing, which will be in next month, the 21st of next month. It will have been a year since his last competition, so it's only been about almost 11 months now. But let's take a look at what Robert and Dexter said about the situation here.
Some people are crapping on us because we are saying that now Devon is getting shafted for not being the interim champion, because it's highly unlikely that Levan will defend his title before it expires in June.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Levan obviously is not on the event in June, and I don't think there's another event for the end of June, so it will have been a year since Levan has competed.
The idea is, I want to tell and remind everybody,
by the time of his next match.
Yeah, and if you remember how Vitaly tried to give Devon the hammer, and Devon's like, you don't understand what this hammer means. I don't really care for it, because, and I can guarantee you, knowing Devon, he doesn't care very much about being the interim champion. He cares more of being the actual, true, strongest arm wrestler, at least in the right arm, in the world.
And I think on that day he defeated Vitaly, he was the strongest right arm in the world, because obviously Levan wasn't in his peak shape. So, but I think Devon also wants to time his next match with Levan properly, so that way Levan isn't just resting forever and has it on his terms to come in the best condition, while Devon's competing multiple times throughout the year and Levan's just resting.
That's what he cares more than anything else.
I mean, I think that's true, but I think he also would care about being the interim champion as well. I just don't think we can, in good conscience, give the interim championship to Devon, as long as Levan is going to pull right away. I mean, he's been injured, so technically, if there wasn't the injury and he didn't have any plans of pulling for a while, and he couldn't, like, let's say he's still injured and he can't pull for another, for the rest of the year, then I think we would make Devon the interim champion.
So what is right away? He said as long as Levan pulls right away, but then he says by the end of the year. So is right away meaning the event whenever in December, maybe the one that was up in the air for Vegas? Is that going to be the deadline for Levan to pull? Otherwise, they're giving the interim to Devon. That's kind of what it seems like to me after watching that.
Levan said, you know what, I can't pull this year, but then we have to move it over. We have to
keep in mind that's not for another like 6 or 7 months until December, so doesn't quite even seem like right away, but
to keep it active. But if he says no, I'm good, I'm healing, I want a match, I'm gonna, I'll take a match by the end of the year, then I think we have to keep it with Levan.
So they're extending that to a year and a half time between last competition for the belt to defend, for him keeping the belt. But let's look at the comments here to see what people are thinking about this situation. A lot of comments on this video here. Proving Astrology says, one thing that seems to be lost on East versus West is how legitimacy works. EVW can call whoever they want the champion, but EVW is still just the biggest promotion in arm wrestling, not arm wrestling itself. The arm wrestling norm is that if you don't compete for a year, you lose your ranking due to inactivity. If they don't honor that, there's a gap between the sports ranking and EVW's ranking. You can list Devon as ranked number 2 at 105 kilograms, but you're only damaging your own brand by doing that. Under any serious ranking system, he should be ranked 1 or not at all, because he hasn't competed at 105 since he beat Petrenko, which was over a year ago, I believe. So let's look at some more comments regarding that Devon and Levan situation. Really convenient rule change after it was talked about multiple times that Devon would be interim champion, but because the league can't handle their athletes, they make an exception to an athlete who has barely arm wrestled. probably faked an injury to duck Vitali. Now EVW wants to money grab. Using Devon's name, not letting him rest. Let Levan arm wrestle some people for a change. Good job. Really disappointed. Maybe give the title shot to Camille in December in Las Vegas, or even earlier, because Camille beat Michael Todd in that match. Michael Todd was supposed to have the shot against Levan if he were to win, but he lost. But I guess people just forgetting about Camille, so maybe give that shot to Camille at least. That would be a fresh opponent for Levan. So let's look at some more comments. My suggestion is that you should save Devon versus Levan match for the end as Devon's retirement match from the super heavyweight division. Devon is the gold mine who generates the most revenue. Fans pay money to see Devon at his best. Fans want to see his most powerful version, which is precisely the Devon who competes. Very long comment here. Oh, they were talking about where they're going to hold the event, if it's Levan versus Devon in the future, whether it's going to be in Canada or even in Georgia. That way it would probably be massive being in the home crowd of one of the athletes. I think that would be huge. Let's read the finishing part of this comment. Holding this super match in Canada will sell much more than in Las Vegas. Also could be in Georgia. Regarding Devon again, his new crusty Devon persona is a new attraction. Don't dismiss it so quickly, assuming he might lose to Levan again. Use this new character to generate revenue. Levan could wrestle Michael Todd first and Camille too. And of course, Vitali, the Devon versus Hermes match could be in Italy. That would be very interesting. Devon versus Morzov in Brazil. Yeah, I think there's a lot of options. Let's look at a couple more comments here. What we just witnessed was EVW cornering Devon into competing against Levan in December. Devon has been discussing his plans to become the interim champion for months leading up to this match. Even after defeating Vitali, he expressed his desire to rest and suggested that Levan should pursue him for a change while he held the title. However, EVW has suddenly altered the 1-year rule. Yeah, extended it to like a year and a half. It seemingly, at least from that clip, they're wanting Levan to at least compete by December, likely to satisfy Levan's request for a match in December. There's really no other way to interpret this situation. So, interesting topic here as far as Levan. Hopefully, we will be able to see him compete sooner than December, but who knows what will happen. Let me know your thoughts on that clip there or any other arm wrestling topics you want me to cover, and hit like and subscribe for more content, guys.